Hello and welcome to a more perfect podcast. Today is a special day. Today is an awesome day because today Gavin is back.
Thank you. It's good to be back, Dylan. I appreciate you inviting me on again.
In case you've been living under a rock, just catch us up on the one word there's occupied Washington for the past few, it seems like forever now.
Impeachment.
Oh man, bingo, we have a winner. So this episode is gonna mainly be covering impeachment, everything you need to know about it without all the stupid details. Democrats are getting ready to bring out the BFG, if you get my Doom reference.
I do get your Doom reference. That's an epic gamer moment. I consider that victory royale in my book. Yes.
Okay. So things are wrapping up. I just wanted to cover all the testimonies and the stuff that's been going on in Washington. There's three people that we're mainly going to cover. These are there's been more public hearings than this, but to me and to Gavin, these are the most important people. Mm-hmm. Gavin, why don't you talk to us about this first guy?
William Taylor. Yeah, he was in the military. He's a veteran. I believe he was a captain for the army, and he is testifying against Trump. Apparently, he overheard a private phone call with Donald Trump. Talking about Ukraine and stuff, and he overheard that, and it's something you shouldn't really do. Kind of sneaky. I guess he's just trying to use that to just try to attack Trump. It's what about this? You're keeping this private from all of us, and this ain't cool, dude. He's just trying to use Trump's private, conversations that he has with these important people to turn it against him or switch his words around and just attack him.
Yeah. William Taylor, he is an official dude. He's not some random hobo out on the street by any means. That's how he was able, or I think it was actually one of his aides who was able to overhear this phone call, and they're using this allegations of a overheard phone call against Trump. I mean, this just shows you the lengths that they're trying to go with these witnesses, pulling these people in. It's just so stupid.
It's ridiculous how they're just hiding within plain sight and just overhearing these conversations that shouldn't be overheard. I wouldn't say that's basically stealing, but it's kind of stealing. It's a lot of really private information that shouldn't really be released until further notice or things have been talked about. Yeah. They're just going straight into the point.
So yeah, it's crazy. What if these calls had classified information on them that we didn't want the Chinese to know?
If it has private information, that shit gets released, the whole world's gonna be able to see it and able to maybe access it. Some hackers or something like that will be able to access these files and they have all this stuff, and then we'll have to get bribed and stuff, or money is oh, you want your information back? Come and get it, baby. But
yeah,
you just can't have that private information approved. Hey, you're allowed to talk about this, or you can show this to other people, because it's very bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're just kind of spitting stuff out there with these witnesses. We don't know if it's been run through. What if it was a secret? So that's a really good point. The second witness is a woman. She was a former ambassador.
Of Ukraine.
To Ukraine or something.
Yeah.
She was an ambassador, and she got let go by Trump because she was bad news or whatever, right?
No.
Trump tweets about her. He tweets that she, quote, everywhere Marie Yovanovitch went turned bad. She started off in Somalia. How did that go? And then fast forward to Ukraine, where the new Ukrainian president, that's Zelensky, spoke unfavorably about her in my second phone call with them. It is the U.S. president's absolute right to appoint ambassadors, which is true if you just read the Constitution, but nobody does that anymore.
Unfortunately not, no.
Yeah. And then he said, they call it serving at the pleasure of the president. The U.S. now has very strong and powerful foreign policy, much different than preceding administrations. Oh, bummer. And it is called quite simply America First, yada, yada, yada. He says he's done far more for Ukraine than
Oh, for those of you who don't know, it's Obama.
It's Obama, yeah.
He didn't have enough characters in his box when he was tweeting.
Yes, it's So literally epic.
Epic.
It's epic. What are they trying to call this? Like they're trying to characterize Trump's tweets as
attacking her.
Yeah, attacking her.
I mean, it's like he said, it's like a president's like given right to appoint ambassadors, and like if you're going to appoint ambassadors, you want to have like some of the best of the best.
Yeah.
And, like you want to make sure you have some honest ones and truthful ones, and like ones that are going to get work done. In the tweet, he talked about like she was having trouble in Somalia. I mean, Somalia is bad enough to deal with already, but like
I don't really know like what went on in Somalia.
Lots of stuff went down in the 90s. Good movie I recommend watching. It's called Black Hawk Down. It's
Black Hawk Down?
Yeah, it's like a military movie. Talks about whole stuff going on in Somalia, like people getting food stolen from the government. Like, just corrupt African government. Deals with like Army Rangers and like Delta Spec Ops. And like it's really cool, kind of gory, but I recommend it if you're interested in learning like what the deal was going on in Somalia in 1993, I believe so. Clinton was president? Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I believe so.
That's cool.
Very cool stuff.
I didn't know that at all.
Well, the more you know, bud. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you gotta have the best of the best if you want to like.
Sure.
Yeah, if you want to like spread like helpfulness.
U.S. interests.
Yes, and interests. If you're getting like badmouthed about like Ukraine and you're appointed to Ukraine, and the president of Ukraine is talking bad about you, it's like he's talking crap.
Yeah.
Like, what have you been doing over there?
I think on some of the news channels are reporting that she was like pro the previous president of Ukraine. She didn't like the one that just got elected. His name is again Zelensky, and she didn't like him. So why would we have somebody over here? I just have to ask, why would we have somebody like Yovanovitch over there who doesn't like the current government of Ukraine? If you don't like the current government of Ukraine, you're logically not going to work well with them. If you don't work well with them, then you're not gonna, as you said, advance U.S. interests.
Yeah, it's not like everything's going to go your way in a different country with a different government. It's definitely not like the U.S. like 2.0 or something like that. This is a completely different policies, different country, different rules, different person. This is if you can't handle it, shoot.
Yeah, you're done for, bud. Game over.
Game over.
Well, they're saying, to quote the tweet again, like everywhere Marie Yovanovitch went turned bad, and obviously Trump is being Trump again. He is always very if you guys haven't noticed by now, and Gavin, if you haven't noticed by now, he's very vocal with his opinions.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit.
Really? Now I have no idea. No clue, honestly.
Yeah. So they're calling it like witness. What is it, like tampering or like intimidation, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's some legal charge, and they're trying to like add it to the impeachment articles. And my problem with that is taking it as a personal insult would be foolish. It seems like he's commenting on her career as a ambassador and not the her actual character. It's not like a threat, and you'd have to be like dense and like have the maturity of like a third grader to be threatened by that and say, I don't want to testify because Trump did this. Like, no.
We're really just attacking like the things you do. We're not like insulting your family. We're not insulting your mom, your dad. We're not insulting like your bloodline. We're not saying like you shouldn't exist or anything like that. We're just like calling you out on like the poor job that you're doing on your job. Like people need to know that. What's getting done? Nothing. Take a look at this.
Yeah, and Trump had like literally every right to give his opinion on a ambassador that was under his purview. I mean, like, what is literally wrong with that? Like nothing, but
it's just
leave it up to CNN to find something wrong.
It's like a manager talking to an employee saying like, hey, you're doing stuff. Do better, It's just like it's like constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Like just take this criticism, use it for your like self, and like just
to do a better job.
Do a better job, and just keep getting better, and like take baby steps if you have to.
Don't take it personally because the substance of the words, it's literally not a personal insult. There's no way it can be taken as a personal insult unless you're like.
It's criticism.
Trying to advance
it's criticism towards your work ethic and not your feelings.
Yeah.
If it makes If it makes it easier.
Yeah, definitely. But like leave it up to the Democrats to call it witness intimidation and call for another article in the articles of impeachment, like another section, I guess. Okay, so that's what happened with Marie Yovanovitch. Can we just take a moment and just like appreciate like her last name? Yovanovitch. Oh, jeez. Like, jeez. Okay, so anyways, all right. So now on to our final and most important witness. So this is, his name is Gordon Sondland. So he is literally Patrick Star. First off, he's like, they asked him, "Sir, do you take notes?" And he was like, "No, I don't take notes." He's like, "Sir, do you have any travel records of where you've been?" "No, why would I?" "Sir, was there a quid pro quo? Was there a quid pro quo?" "No."
"Can't see my forehead."
Yeah, I'm trying to see my forehead, man. And then like literally a few days later, "Sir, was there a quid pro quo?" Yeah, of course there was."
Where was this earlier? What happened? Did you suddenly find your brain after a few days? It took you that long to wake up?
His hard drive was full, dude. We just have to. We
just had to expand it with an SSD.
Yeah, dude. He just had to kind of swap the drives out, and he's good now. He's it's not like we're trying to impeach a president or anything.
He had his sleep drive that day, and a few days later he had his like, "Oh shit, we need to get stuff done" drive.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh,
we're trying to impeach a president here."
Fifth gear. So he has the memory of a starfish. I was obviously, making fun of it, but those were actual questions that they asked. So they asked him, what was there a quid pro quo? And he was like, yes. And we have a little clip here that you can listen to right now that basically details them asking him about it and then his response. Here, listen to it.
I know that members of this committee frequently frame these complicated issues in the form of a simple question. Was there a quid pro quo? As I testified previously, with regard to the requested White House call and the White House meeting, the answer is yes. Mr. Giuliani conveyed to Secretary Perry, Ambassador Volker, and others that President Trump wanted a public statement from President Zelensky committing to investigations of Burisma and the 2016 election. Mr. Giuliani expressed those requests directly to the Ukrainians, and Mr. Giuliani also expressed those requests directly to us. We all understood that these prerequisites for the White House call and the White House meeting reflected President Trump's desires and requirements. Within my State Department emails, there is a July 19th email. This email was sent to Secretary Pompeo, Secretary Perry, Brian McCormick, who is Secretary Perry's Chief of Staff at the time, Ms. Kenna, who is the Executive Secretariat for Secretary Pompeo, Chief of Staff Mulvaney, and Mr. Mulvaney's senior advisor, Rob Blair. A lot of senior officials. Here is my exact quote from that email. I talked to Zelensky just now. He is prepared to receive POTUS's call. We'll assure him that he intends to run a fully transparent investigation and will turn over every stone. He would greatly appreciate a call prior to Sunday so that he can put out some media about a friendly and productive call, no details, prior to Ukraine election on Sunday. Chief of Staff Mulvaney responded, I asked the NSC to set it up for tomorrow. Everyone was in the loop.
So that was Sondland's testimony. He had obviously a lot to say. I cut it for time, but I guarantee you guys are getting the important bits of the testimony. If I played the whole thing, I'm pretty sure you would fall asleep. I mean, I fell asleep doing research. Like, it gets pretty dry sometimes. And by pretty dry, I mean very dry. So that was his testimony. But let's just zoom out here. And Gavin and I were talking about this earlier, and we came out with two channels of communication between Ukraine and the United States. So the first one is the State Department and the official ambassadors Gordon Sondland and formerly Marie Yovanovitch, and you got Bill Taylor, cool kids in the gang.
The gang's all here.
Yeah, the gang's all here. Like me and the boys just communicating with Ukraine. And then there's this dark, spooky shadow channel. It's kind of like if you ever watched that Netflix show Stranger Things.
Did it take you that long? Jeez, man.
Hey, there hasn't been a new season in a while.
They just made a new season July, and I watched the whole thing.
It was really good. So so there's this spooky undercurrent.
The upside down.
The upside down, if you want to compare it to that. And this has to do with one man, and he's also bald like Sondland, except he's kind of less bald and he has a better accent and harder to listen to voice. His name is Rudy Giuliani. He is the personal attorney to the president, and he has been screwing around Ukraine, prodding people, advocating for the Biden investigation, which is what started this whole thing. And so those are the two channels, and Sondland was part of that first channel. As I probably just said, Sondland and Yovanovitch and the State Department were channel 1, and channel 2 was the Giuliani stream, so to speak. All right, so back to Sondland. So we obviously know that he did a quid pro quo, or he said there was a quid pro quo, but contrary to the media's narrative and their bite-sized Mad Libs version of the testimonies, there was a gray area to it all. So he obviously said there's a quid pro quo. I don't know how many times I can say that before I get to my point.
Yeah.
But there's a gray area. Gavin, you want to tell us about that gray area?
It's a gray area, yes. I think it's where I'm pretty sure a lot of people knew there was a quid pro quo, but they didn't want to say anything because they feel it would disrupt or corrupt their entire impeachment process. Mm-hmm. So if I don't know, if maybe one of the Congress members or just any of the members during the impeachment process, they bring up oh, I knew about this too, and all these other guys too. They're basically ratting themselves out and that's what they don't want to do, because it seems a lot of people besides Sondland know, and they just want.
They're all kind of in cahoots.
They're all in cahoots. They just don't want to explain anything or just tell the truth.
I would also, off of your point, that they don't want the policy towards Ukraine to be exposed like that and it just be laid out, because as you said earlier, top secret stuff. This is how we communicate with other nations. We don't want China to know that.
Yeah, we don't want North Korea. We don't want Afghanistan, Iraq, all this other Kim Jong-un. We don't want
Kim Jong-un might come over.
I mean, we're at peace with them for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Hey, first president to ever set foot onto North Korean soil. Pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's impeach that bastard.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw Donald Trump. It's not like you showed me the animal cruelty thing that he did earlier.
Yeah, and the freaking women's suffrage bill that he's freaking signed as well.
Yeah, and that was today.
Literally today. And literally the animal cruelty bill signed literally a few days before that. He's done so much in the past few days. I haven't paid attention to the impeachment thing because I knew it would make me bored, and I knew like nothing was going to be productive and nothing was going to get done. Yeah. So like I was paying attention to like the positive stuff, like he's getting this stuff done, and like Democrats just don't see it. There's like we need to impeach him now. Hey, women's suffrage act. It's on my graveside. Impeached bastard.
Y'all hear something?
Hey, y'all hear some? Oh no, let's get back to this conference where we can find 10 ways to impeach him again.
Yeah, migrants like being stopped at the border, like that now the border patrol isn't being overrun anymore. The first time I had you on the podcast, that's what we talked about was the border.
Yeah.
And now what do you know? It's kind of poof, magic.
Poof, exactly.
And it's because the crises aren't there anymore because he's building the wall.
He's building the
walls
wall.
Work.
He's building the wall. Border security is becoming stronger day by day. Less drugs being smuggled into, less human trafficking, less illegal immigrants coming in. Like, we're getting stuff done. Seriously.
Yeah, we are.
Like, even though it's just like I mentioned, or Lauren mentioned in previous podcast, like it's just like countries are just like borderlines are invisible for a reason and stuff. Well, we're trying to make ours invisible. It's like hey, you trying to come in? Listen, bud. We have a few sets of rules. Sign here, and here, and just don't.
Just give us your thumbprint and what type? I don't know.
Just grab a ticket, wait in line. We'll call you when you're ready.
It's like the fare to like the rest of your life. Buy an unlimited ride pass.
Buy a VIP pass for $35. Dude, I went to the fair a few days ago.
Yeah, me too.
This shit cost me like $70 because I
know,
got
so
VIP pass for like me and a girl I was taking.
Yeah. And
freaking $70. I mean, unlimited rides in the mission, like cool and stuff, but like also I had to like take out a little cash because I want me some bear snacks. Dude, they had deep fried candy bars and deep fried cookie dough.
Deep fried candy bar, dude. I had chicken on a stick. Okay, yeah, that sounded so lame. But I also had deep fried Oreos. Dang it.
That's good.
Deep fried Oreos,
dude. Deep fried Reese's are.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it this is way more important than everything we've ever talked about, but. Deep fried Oreos are the best thing to ever happen to like the world. I mean,
they're better than original Oreos.
They're better than original Oreos. They're soft and they're crunchy and they have chocolate on the inside. Oh man, like they're the best fruit ever. Like even when they're cold, they're good.
Like nothing wrong with
cold
a fried cookie.
Fried
oh man, just yum. Me at 3 a.m. going to my fridge to give me some cold deep fried Oreos. The best moment, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be the podcast description, like the entire thing. Cold deep fried Oreos.
So it's like we talk about 3 witnesses, impeachment, and deep fried Oreos.
Oh yeah.
I dig it.
I dig it. And that's great.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah. So like. I think we're gonna wrap it up there, but before we do, Gavin, do you have like anything else that you want to say about anything that we've like talked about or like, stuff that we haven't talked about?
Rate this podcast 5 stars when you have a chance. Oh, yeah? Really cool stuff. He's working really hard, and I like the work that he's doing. Like he has a lot of guests and stuff. Like he talks. He's like not afraid to talk about what he has to say or what his opinion is. So I really appreciate that. I listen to this podcast daily. And for all you guys that think the impeachment process is, it's coming up and it's going to be a big bang, you're kind of wrong, not going to lie. Because Trump has done nothing that made him, impeachable. Like, he has no offenses towards him. Democrats are literally just, trying everything they can to get him out of office.
Right.
They didn't like him when he was first elected. They want to impeach him since then. It's been almost 4 years. He's going on to run for re-election, which he most likely will be re-elected. Every time a Democrat complains about Donald Trump, a new Trump voter is created. So let's just get that out of the way. There have been more Trump voters throughout the years since he's been in office. I don't think he's going to lose the next election. I think he might have, some high competition, but I think the country is going to do what they do best and vote for the right guy.
Oh yeah,
Honestly.
I really couldn't have said it better myself.
The impeachment process, they're getting nothing done.
Literally nothing.
Nothing done. They're just complaining and whining. If you want to make a difference,
do something.
Do something about it. Do something that's worthwhile. Do something that's worth of your time. You're getting paid thousands and probably hundreds of thousands of dollars just to help your country and to help a guy who is running the country. Your basic job is like, one of your only jobs is like, be there and support.
To pass legislations.
Pass legislations, like talk and like, just have conversations and like just talk about things that could be and like couldn't be done. And
yeah, if we wanted a WWE match, then we would have gone to a WWE match.
Trump has done that already. He has done that already.
Oh yeah, he did. He actually did. I was just making a metaphor, but like if you look it up, then like he really did, and it was actually pretty awesome. I think he actually used to like moderate those, maybe. I don't
know about that, but I know he started in some of them. Look up Trump WWE 2000s or something like that.
It was awesome.
Very cool stuff. We're gonna tell our kids, hey, that was our president right there.
Yes.
He showed me a meme of that. It was hilarious. But yeah, let's just break it down. Impeachment process, kind of worthless. Democrats don't really know what they're talking about. Most importantly, build that wall.
Build the wall.
Build the wall.
Build the wall. Say it again. Build the wall.
Build the wall. Oh, and don't abort babies. That's a big thing too, cause.
Oh yeah, late-term abortions are.
That's still murder. From what I've learned. In the EMT school, and there's a definition. It's abortion, obviously, and the definition for the word abortion in EMT is the spontaneous death of a fetus. So that's what I've learned. Like it's like it's like spontaneous death. Like, oh, this happened to the baby. The baby just died all of a sudden. That counts as abortion. Same thing with a miscarriage or like a stillborn. They just die in a womb. That'd be considered abortion. What they're doing.
Yeah.
Is they're just taking out the body parts and just, and like what they're doing when they mean abortion is they're just getting like tubes or whatever and tools and stuff, just sucking the baby out, even when it's not dead. That's called murder. First of all, that is not abortion. Abortion is where the baby dies all of a sudden. Murder is when the baby is still alive and you're taking it out parts by parts. Even an abortion, a former abortion doctor testified in court, going over the process. He's done a process of over 1,200 abortions, late term and new, just regular abortions. And he stopped doing it, and he explained that like it's not a good process. It's not good for the faint of heart. It's not good for the baby, obviously. So yeah, just abortion bad. Pro-life all the way.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of evidence to back that side up. I've never given my opinion on abortion before, and actually, fun fact, before Lauren and I recorded the third episode, it was called Bridging the Divide. Gavin referenced it earlier.
Pretty cool stuff. Pretty long.
It was pretty long. It was pretty long, but before we I can't remember if we actually covered it, but I remember saying I don't want to cover it. I don't want to touch it because that's kind of
it's a sensitive subject.
My line.
It would.
Well, it is a sensitive subject, but
especially for feminists.
Yeah, for me personally, it's just really just gruesome. And the only solid opinion I have on as far as abortion and pro-life, pro-choice goes is I'm against late-term abortions, third trimester. That's just sucks. That's the one where they, as you said, they put the tubes in there and they just suck out the baby and they mutilate it. It's awful. It's I think reminds me of the book The Giver.
Yeah.
I read that. Yeah, and I think they have something like that in there. It's just horrible stuff. You cannot, even if you're pro-choice, you cannot justify a third trimester or a late-term abortion.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that. My only solid opinion on that matter.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't look into it a lot, but that is cool that they taught you about it in EMT school.
Yeah, very very cool stuff. We've gone over miscarriages and stillborn. Abortion, I just and I just saw it. It was like just death of the baby. Like it doesn't explain how the baby died. Just the death of the baby. So I'm like, okay, so
keep it blunt.
Yeah.
And keep it honestly real, because that's what happens.
Yeah, it's more babies are aborted and like more babies die each year than like people die to gunshot wounds. Like for people like
that's most likely true.
For people who get killed via like gunshot or whatever, that's like in like the 30,000s. What aborted babies? That's like almost in the millions range.
Yeah, it's
because we have
sickening.
Very sickening. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to like judge your lifestyle. Say, hey, don't have an abortion. Like it's don't kill the baby and stuff like that. Yeah. But that's just my opinion.
It's just your opinion.
You can do whatever you want.
Nobody can obviously make you, like, he's not like standing over you with a gun. I mean, I'm not like threatening you. Like, you better not have this baby. I swear to God. Like, I'm just saying, you do you. I'm gonna do me. Yeah.
I think you're doing is wrong, but I'm even though I may slightly judge you for it, like I'll still understand, like, you're doing this for you. And like it won't affect.
That's something that we all need to understand, I think.
Yeah.
And Gavin, you honestly laid it out beautifully there, which was, we need to understand each other's points of view, and we need to tolerate every single point of view, not just toleration of the things that one political party is pushing, and intoleration of ideas and policies that the other political party is pushing. So, you know, he's just like very honestly, like very wellly. I'm glad you said that. I didn't even know they went over that in AMT school. That was really cool.
No, you're cool. It's just like cool stuff you went around every day. I don't know, when we just wrapped it up, I just felt like saying, like, hey, I'm gonna say this that's on my mind. Just very cool stuff.
I'm glad you did. I would
It went from 0 to 100 real fast. It went from
it's fine.
Deep fried Oreos to abortion.
That's epic. Like we went around town.
All over the town.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
All right, Gavin. Well, I'm glad that I was able to have you on again.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's always seriously awesome when I can get you on here. You know, you obviously have a great opinion on things and a great way of voicing that opinion. Quite frankly, the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you having me on, man. Like, it feels good to voice my opinion, and like people out there are like they get to hear what I have to say, even though they may or may not like it. It feels, I don't know, it's nice.
Yeah, well,
and it's always awesome talking to you, as always.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like definitely, like same to you. Of course, you're my friend, man.
Yeah.
And that's what this podcast is about. You know, it's about as I said, as I've written in the description, you know, the youngest generation eligible to vote. We're all in college or maybe even seniors in high school. This podcast is an insight into what that demographic is thinking, what the youngest generation growing up in this chaotic world and this rancorous political environment is thinking, and what we think and feel about all these things. Sometimes it's way too much to cover. I mean, there's I'm just gonna admit it. There's some things we left out in this podcast. There's some witnesses we left out.
Yeah.
But it's impossible for anyone to keep up with all of it. And this is just our opinion as, you know, young voters and new political political newbies, so to speak. It is an insight as to what we think, and that's like the whole central purpose, and that's why this podcast was like created. Like one of the big like core reasons is that.
Absolutely.
And I didn't see many podcasts out there like at all like that were just solely focused on, you know, college kids and focusing on, you know, getting different opinions from that age group. It was all like political people like that were, you know, either had been in a news organization or, you know, were a talk show host or had been actually in the government. They had served as a representative or an ambassador. Like isn't it cool like how our voices can be like carried across?
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. Honestly. it's definitely something to get used to. So anyways, let's just go ahead and wrap up the episode here. As Gavin said, rate the podcast 5 stars. It really helps the podcast grow. Currently, when you search the podcast, we are the second result, and I would love for us to be the first result when you search up a More Perfect Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I want my podcast to be, tip of the top, like top of the heap, so people can find it easily without having to scroll, because that really does matter when you're trying to find something. And your ratings obviously mean a lot to me. You can even write a review. So I just found out that Apple Podcasts has a thing where you can write comments. You can leave comments on how I can improve, or if you have suggestions on what to cover. I will, if you do leave a comment, then I will be sure to read it and to respond to it, maybe in an episode. You never know, but it would be a great deal of help if you guys could do that.
If I could rate 5 stars on Apple or Spotify, you guys can too, trust me.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Oh yeah. Alright. So with that, have a more perfect day.